Howdy folks, it is Don't Drill Me Bro here with obviously a Beretta, because that's the little trident symbol there on the box. Well, I've probably discussed it, and I actually had a video about this gun a couple years ago. It's the Beretta 92. It was actually more about a replacement for the M9, which is essentially the same gun without the updates that Beretta's done over the years. And in that video, I was like, well, maybe an MMP9 will be a good, an MMP9 will be a good replacement. Well, that obviously was not the case at all, because the MP9 had all kinds of weird accuracy issues, inconsistent barrel lockup, parts breakages like the striker channel, and slide locks, and all these weird little issues that at the time a mature design should just not have had. But this is about the Beretta 92 series, or at least this particular one. You can see right off the bat that this is not your average 92. Well, it is actually, but not really. So the gun is already been safety checked. In fact, I can even make it safe for you. Ooh. So I'll start with what this is. This is a 92 FS. This is actually a made in Tennessee model, made in Gallatin. So I mean, it's a well-made piece. The action is silky smooth out of the box, as you would expect for any Beretta 92 series gun. The machining is pretty good, actually, considering the price point. This is a police special, but the police specials these days no longer come with a shield. They actually come with just the extra magazine. That's really the only big difference. With me here, I don't have that extra magazine, but it comes with the standard mil-spec style 15-round magazine with the little cut here for a 92S, which would be the version of the Beretta 92 that has the grip-mounted magazine release, or heel-mounted release. But aside from that, I mean, this is a standard Beretta 92, so it has a lot of the polymer-coated steel parts or polymer-coated parts. So it still has a plastic guide rod. It has the polymer-coated steel trigger, the plastic safety, and of course the infamous Beretta 92 non-adjustable front sight. As far as changes, the very first change I made after I initially shot the gun to get a feel of it was the D-spring, which I'm not going to remove my hammer spring because that would be ridiculous, but it dramatically lowered my double action trigger pull, and it kind of smoothed up the single action a little bit as well. So like I said, it's already been safety checked, but just look at the trigger movement of the bow. The only stacking you see there is really from me. After that, the next change I made, if I remember correctly, was the Elite Hammer. This was really more cosmetics than anything else. Additionally, I have all the original parts here. And there's a lot of them here. Oh, see, there's more. I'll leave that in there for now. But here's my original hammer and magazine release. This is like I said, the Beretta Elite 2 hammer. So it's slightly lightened, or depending on which source you read, it's the exact same mass as the mil-spec hammer, just with a different profile because it looks cooler. Additionally, I have the Elite 2 extended and enlarged magazine release, which I think this should be standard. More, even along with the D-spring, which in some newer models like the M9A3, these two items are standard: the D-spring and the enlarged magazine release. And then the last change I made were these grips. So the regular, so I can find them here. Here we go. The regular Beretta 92 grips, they are textured and all that, and they're fine for, well, being grips. Exactly what you would expect out of a polymer grip. But I have pretty large hands, so I can deal with the fact that a set of really nicely checkered wood grips are going to be slightly thicker. Oh, and before I forget, in addition to that, also the police special comes with the hex head grips, or grip screws. I despise the any of the little Allen key requiring uh, screws. I just, no. I like the slotted grip screw, so I changed them out. What else about this before I get into future things? Oh, the actual very first thing before I had this gun was this. This is Beretta's 17 round. Yep, 17 round factory magazine, which is a polished blue mag. They also offer this magazine in the M9A3, I believe, with the PVD coating, so for the sand-resistant finish. I haven't noticed that much different. I haven't noticed any issues as far as the finish really flaking off. I mean, it's blued, but I keep my guns, properly maintained, and that includes the magazines. I actually bought this magazine to use with a friend's Beretta 92 because he had issues with really old Milsurp magazines in that gun, so I used it to troubleshoot it and told him to throw away those magazines. Now he just sold the gun to some unsuspecting schmuck. What else? So yes, 17 round magazine, fantastic. The base pad is slightly thicker than the mil-spec magazine. Oh, the plastic floor plate. The metal floor plate obviously is going to be thinner. You can find these if you look around for, $24. Roughly the same price as the Metgar. And for all I know, Metgar makes all of the Beretta 92 magazines. They could make this 15 round factory PB mag or the 17 round factory PB mag. As far as changes, I kind of alluded to that in this other picture. Let me get this other crap out of the way here. These are the G series conversion parts that Beretta has released. This video is being made in January of 2017. They released them in December. So these will convert any 92 series FS, Brigadier in F configuration, any of the F series guns, which are decock with safety. It will convert them to a G configuration, which means that as a decock only, when you, let's see me cock the hammer, when you go to drop the hammer on a F, safety stays down. It's a safety. Locks the trigger, no pew. On a G, you do the same thing. Well, may not be retarded here. On a G series, when you do that, it springs right back up automatically. I guess I have to do this with my right hand, with the thumb. It'll spring right back up immediately, and then, of course, you have your double action pull. That's your safety. Well, that and your brain, if you're not stupid. So that is a configuration that the French Army ordered for their Beretta 92s back in, I believe, the late 80s. And that is honestly the configuration that the United States should be using. But the military doesn't change things quickly, or really ever. Aside from that, the accuracy of this gun is outstanding. It's a one of the original Wonder 9s, along with the CC75, and the SIG P226, and I cannot just. It doesn't matter if it's double action or single action. This thing is a tack driver. Like I said before, I have large hands, so for a person with normal to smallish hands, a Beretta 92 is kind of a big gun. It's hard to get a good grip on. But for me, this thing stays planted. I can't compare it to anything, at least personally, as far as the big metal framed Wonder 9s, aside from the CZ75 that I own. And this is, the trigger is far more refined, especially in double action. This double action on the Beretta 92 is so smooth with the D-spring and shooting several hundred rounds, maybe close to 1,000 rounds through this gun. The slide to frame fit is great. When you retract the slide, it feels like it's rolling on ball bearings. And I've also shot the Wilson Combat Brigadier G models, whatever you want to call them. And those are phenomenal pistols. But for their cost, there's a lot of work that goes into them. I'm not sure you really need any of that with a Beretta 92 because from the factory, the gun is pretty damn good. I did purchase, however, some other Wilson Combat parts. So if I can find them for you, which I cannot because apparently I'm an idiot. I think we already knew that. I also purchased a Wilson Combat rear sight. So that... Oh, here it is right here. It's in there. Yeah, Wilson Combat rear sight with a serrated rear. It's a Vickers tactical design rear sight. So I'll replace this. I really am not a fan of the 3-dot. Additionally, even though I just said what I said about Wilson Combat, they do phenomenal work. And I will be sending this in for an action tune and a change to their chrome silica springs. So just to make it just a tiny bit smoother, in addition to that, I'm going to have them machine the front sight. So that'll add a green fiber optic rod in there, just so I can pick up the front sight a little bit easier. I can't think of anything else aside from, if you've thought about buying Beretta 92, I would highly suggest doing it. Right now, they're incredibly affordable. I mean, the equivalent SIG P226 would be $800, $900, $1,000. Whereas if you're spending $1,100, $1,200 on a Beretta 92, you're getting a Brigadier or one of the Wilson Combat series worked over guns. And honestly, those are a smoking deal compared to, say, a SIG Legion, where essentially you've got a slightly tuned factory gun, if they even do any kind of factory tuning. It just has a fancy Cerakote and better sights. I know I'm probably going to make some SIG fans butthurt, but honestly, SIGs are overpriced. They're not a particularly great value, especially with SIG's quality control issues. Beretta has never had a recall on a 90 series pistol. Not once. Not ever. Pico or any of their little smallish pocket pistols, it's a different story. But you can't say anything bad about the 90 in that, or the 92 series, except that they just flat out run. You feed them proper mil-spec ammo, not overpowered plus P+, they will last. Change out the locking block after 5,000 or so rounds. Good to go. Keep up with your springs. Good to go. Use good factory quality magazines. So that means the Beretta PB mark mags, whether they're blued or they're parked or they're the PVD, or use the Metgar with their Teflon finish. Do not use Airtronics or the old style Checkmates with the really thick parkerizing on the inside of the follower of the magazine tube, where dirt and debris, especially if you plan on using your Beretta for any kind of gaming. Speaking of that, I have used this in a couple Steel Challenge matches. One, I think, maybe two. And that was kind of what spurred some of the modifications I've made, especially the larger mag release. I really need to get the gun, just shoot it more. I really love it, and this video is going long, but I cannot say enough good about the Beretta 92. So there you have it. If you have any other questions about the 92, aside from herp derp, the ones in the military don't run, well, that's because the ones in the military aren't maintained. The commercial guns are fantastic. Get yourself one. Shoot it. Decide what you want to do to it, if anything at all, because they really don't need it aside from the decocker. And yeah, have at it. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hope you learned a little bit of something. Hopefully I didn't just ramble. And you all have a great day.